Hey everybody, it's Tyler here at the Mall of America Signature event. We're checking in with 471B. It's Moonshot coming in here from California. Not only is this an absolutely gorgeous robot, a lot of great functionality as well. As we're filming, second in skills so far. Congratulations on that. Doing great in the robot competition. Well, this robot's all about cool center of gravity and some other unique mechanisms that we haven't seen so far too. Coming up from like their skirts on the robot, they have this turntable thing that, well, maybe not active right now. I think is really putting good thought into what the future of this game is going to be. So we'll dive more into different mechanical aspects of this robot, how it's all coming together, a lot that you can learn from here on Fits and Parts. Rich, let's start off on this robot here, talking about these different toggle mechs that you have on here, and as well as your lift too. I'd love to learn more about how this has all come together.
So our lift is, the bottom part is a 6-bar and the top is a 4-bar. We decided to go with this design because a 6-bar gives us a lot of, helps the lift compress and makes us fold together neatly, which gives us space to other subsystems. And the top 4-bar is made out of L channels to keep us lightweight and also helps with our cog. As you can see, our toggles, we have 4 toggles, 2 in the back and 2 in the front. They flip out so we can keep in size while having as many toggles that are efficient as possible. So as you can see, these zip ties on the side of our lift and of our toggle, in the rules, it has stated that if you're contacting a toggle at the end of the match, it neutralizes it. So we uses these zip ties to touch a toggle if we can't control it, to neutralize it and help us get more points in the match. We also have this piece of rubber, which is a flex wheel cut down on the bottom of these toggles. When we want to protect our toggle, for example, if there's a lot of yellows in that area, then we can back up and then our robot goes down and it goes directly on top of the toggle, which completely locks it down. 1, robot cannot push us. 2, it's still very hard, which also gives us time to coordinate with our alliance to help us protect the toggle.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/vex. When you looked at this game overall coming in, we played a few matches here at Mall of America. Are you happy with this design overall so far, and do you think it's been effective?
Honestly, yeah. Like, our match loading has been extremely quick and we haven't used these yet, but they're definitely probably going to be really useful in upcoming matches, especially elims.
Yeah, I agree. I think for once we get the elimination matches, they're really going to come into play. So it'll be cool to see for that. Let's pass over to Evan, talk about different aspects of keeping that low center of gravity. I know that double 4-bar, the reverse 4-bar really helps with that, but you have some other aspects that have gone into that. And then I really got to ask you about that carousel mech afterwards too, because it looks really cool.
One unique thing that we do that most teams don't have is we actually mount our lift motors really down low. We have a separate linkage here with this red C channel that just moves the standoff bar all the way going up. That way we can keep our lift motors down low, which lowers our center of gravity. This is similar for most electronics in our robot. We actually also, right here, if you see this little gearbox right here, this shaft where these sprockets are spinning on is connected to our intake motor, which as you can see is also really low down to our robot. This motor on our carousel is the only motor that's not basically on the bottom of our robot, because we also have our tank here. Our battery mount is, if I could tip the robot, is right there. And our brain mount is just tucked away in the back here. So this makes our center of gravity really low, because at this game, robots can be up to like 50 inches tall. So driving around is really tippy, and it's just like harder for autons and driver just to be more accurate. So it just helps us with driving around. Another thing we have is we actually have these defense wedges in the back here. Those allow us to wedge up opponents easier, because there's a lot of hard toggle plays where you need to be able to push them off and like get the toggles back. So what we use, another unique thing about our wedges is they actually stop upwards. So if our robot was ever able to tip up like this, it would actually stop at a certain point. So our robot doesn't actually tip that far back. The same can be said for these side skirts, which also help us with defense and just basically just staying on goals. Because if a robot were to push us up here, they would actually just be like, their wheels would get wedged off the ground. It allows us to just be a lot defensive and stronger around the field.
Reminds me almost a little bit combat robotics-esque
Yes.
there for sure. That's really cool.
We take a lot of inspiration from BattleBots.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
competition.
I can see it right there for sure. And then, can you talk to me more about like the concept behind this carousel turntable?
Yes,
that you
for
have?
sure.
And you said it's not functioning for this event, but I'd love to hear more about just where the concept is and what you're looking at doing in the future with it too.
Yeah, so similar to a lot of robots here, we have an intake so that we're able to pick up stuff inside of our claw. We just have a simple counter roller here. Like I explained, the intake motor is down here where we chain everything together. But one unique feature you might see is that these two stages of our intake are actually powered separately. This is called our carousel mech, which can actually turn the orientation of cups and pins while we intake stuff around the field. That's because cups and pins come in 2 different colors, and when you intake it, you can't really ever know which side is going to go in first. So we took off the functionality of the carousel for Mall of America because we realized it was really hard to get accurate, and also for like match play, it wasn't super helpful because there wasn't actually much intaking we had to do. It was mostly just toggle plays after we match loaded, and just like adding these zip ties helps, like Richard said. So if our carousel were to work, it basically is powered by a 5.5 watt motor, and it can just turn cups and pins like that. This motor gears this 48 tooth gear to a 24 to a 12 tooth, which spins at 800 RPM. And it's just chained 1-to-1 for these 2 band rollers. We used to have a piston mounted on the back of this that would just like close the cups and pins in. But we had to remove it just because it wasn't super effective, like I said earlier, and it was just like not the most consistent thing. So yeah.
I'm so looking forward to seeing that in action in future events. So I think it would be really cool. And I think the thought of how this game is played, that is definitely the right direction.
Thank you.
For something like that. So let's pass over to Zoe, talk about a couple other things too. One of the things that was mentioned earlier is with having your toggles the way that they are, you need to set some sort of macro to make sure you're staying in size, right? And then talking about also with your auto claw, how that's coming together from a programming side.
Yeah, so continuing on from the carousel, it leads into the claw. So a problem that we actually had is that the carousel took up a lot of space, so we had to add a piston on our claw so that it's able to pivot in. So from this, we were able to create a macro so that the claw and lift is able to go down to the right height in order for us to intake. And this ramp also flips up. And also, once the pin and cup passes through the intake, once the claw senses the pin and cup using this distance sensor, it detects that something is really close, meaning that it would automatically clamp onto that pin and cup, making it so that it's easier for us to drive around the field, pick up cups and pins whenever we intake.
Very cool. Well, overall, Moonshot, this has been a really cool overview of this robot. I'm really excited to see how you guys do here at Mall of America course. But following you through the rest of the season, I'm sure it's going to be great. Thank you for telling our audience more about it, and we wish you best of luck here as you compete in this game. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interests, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/vex.